Yes, in the back here.
Even if we get it stopped, we still have what's out there showing up every day. And my question is there some kind of schematic of the areas where these staging operations are going on? And would it not make sense for Mr. Kennan, Mr. Kraft from Pt2 on
Yes.
the Florida side to have some input in what we see as the obvious good place for these people to be, that they can spider out very quickly and make the most of the quickest response?
Well, yeah. To your first point, you're right. You know, once we get this stopped, this will continue. This is going to be in the water for a while. So, you know, our cleanup operations are going to have to continue. And as you said, you know, we can use all the local support that we can muster and pull together. The folks here have been great, and we can continue to use the local support. That's what makes the difference in this.
Hey, Bob.
I don't know what
Yes.
you call local support, but those boats you got out there are not local boats. I'm still waiting on the list that I asked you for 4 weeks ago. I haven't got it yet of the people out there.
Okay.
Now, if I can get the governor to get all the water patrol all the way to the state and bring them down here, I guarantee you we'll be the best folks.
You know, with respect to the local labor, over 60% of the folks working here are from the state. There are additional, you know, 10 to 20% that are from the bordering states. So some folks are here from Mississippi, some folks from Florida. The vast majority of the folks that are working on the cleanup operation are from the Gulf Coast. Yes, in the back.
People in Orange Beach are starving to death now because they can't get out in that gulf and catch the fish. And that's all y'all's caused. You've done the same thing up in Alaska. You ain't finished that one yet. You need to get real and get the people down here and get it straight. I got a simple solution. If I can get one of the judges to give me a right, we'll lock you up in there and y'all can stick there in our jail until you can figure it out and get it taken care of.
Question in the back here.
Sure. There's still lots of people on the beaches here in Alabama playing in the water, on the sand. Is that safe? Are there any particular health risks? And what do you advise people who, you know, come here as, you know, part of the summer?
Well, that's a great question. The beaches are open, and and the state's made that call, and it's the right call. You know, this is as you walk up and down. If you walk down here, it is quite sporadic. You can see where it is. You can move away from it. And again, if you touch it, it's a tarry substance, and so soap and water applied to that can clean it off. Question here.
We just walked down by the lagoon, and you know, you saw the crews picking everything up, and we talked about on this side of the beach there are much bigger globs, pizza-sized globs. You know, you've talked about what you're doing out at the rig and the site, but what's the plan for the middle between there and here? Is it just wait at the beach until it gets here? What can we expect from that?
Well, with respect to what's at the well site and what's on the beach, this is where we have all the boats working. This is the 2,500 boats that are out there working. What these folks are doing is they're getting the oil off the water as fast as they can. Again, they're doing this through burning methods. They're doing this through skimming it up, and then booming and collecting it, and allow the bigger boats to come in and do that. And again, what's been great is the volunteers who've been part of this effort to make such a difference in that effort.
So we can expect this scene for quite some time.
Well, you know, even if the flow was to stop, what we will continue to see is there will be some oil on the water. You know, having flown over, having seen the activity today, there's not a lot of oil out there, but you do see it. It typically runs in ribbons. It's emulsified oil. It's been on the water for quite some time. The lighter ends have flashed off, have evaporated off of it. So what you're seeing, what's coming up is the tar balls and the tarry type substance. Yes?
We were hoping you would close the vents on the cap yesterday. Can you tell me what's been the delay in that?
On the cap has been it's been in operations for 24 hours now. And again, Admiral Allen shared this morning the results of that, the first 24-hour period of operation. That was the 6,000 barrels that we produced in the first day. Again, the operation's continuing. This is an operation that we will continue with. It's having very good results. It's the best results of any of the various methods that we've used so far. And you know, we'll continue to increase the flow up the pipe and continuing. And this is really the key, is that the more that we can not allow to get to the water surface, the less the less difficult the job is. The key is, you know, if we can grab it at the well site, that's the best place. Because as you said, when you get here, it does get more difficult.
Can you answer about the closing the vents on the cap? I know there were you guys
the
made
vents.
remarks that you were going to be able to do that yesterday. You hope to be able to do that yesterday.
No, the vents on the cap, we will continue to keep those open. What we're doing is we're concerned about the water coming in. So as we increase the flow up the pipe, what we're making sure that we don't do is accelerate it, pull so much in that we actually pull water in. As we continue with the operation in time, we will close those vents in. Yeah, question over here.
Is there a projection yet for when you think the cap's going to reach capacity?
Well, you know, we continue to increase it. The time in which we increase it, we'll just have to see. We're going to have to watch, just as we did with the riser insertion tool. What we'll need to see is exactly is how effective this is in terms of it's producing and breaking out the gas at the surface. But we will continue to make sure we have stable operations. We'll continue to increase it. So, you know, this will be a day-by-day thing, and we'll see how it goes.
Last one over there.
Last one over here.
Mr. Carter, we met with a gentleman that I know has met with BP officials and the state health department with second-degree burns on his hand that local doctors seem to think was a result of the surface dispersants. What is VP's stance on that case at this point?
Well, the dispersants have been, you know, they've been quite effective for us. We've used them in a couple of ways. We've used them in subsea. This has been very effective to disperse the oil and keep it off the water. The other way we've used them is in an aerial sense. We've used planes to drop this. Again, it's another effective method that we've used. Lately, we have certainly minimized the amount that we're doing from an aerial perspective. We've used it principally in the subsea. The dispersants, you know, these are approved by the EPA. We've continued to work with the EPA to look at different dispersants, different kinds. At this time, we've continued to, as we've worked with them, we've continued to come back to the core exit, which is the dispersant we're using right now. It seems to be the best. It's having the most effective, and in terms of toxicity, it's the best one that we found.
So is this a different one from what EPA ordered you not to do? Are you still using the one that they said not to use?
EPA has given us the permission to use this one. They've continued to give us the permission to use this one as well.
What is it?
Well, there are some hydrocarbon type components, elements to that. So it's a number of different compounds, and again, the purpose is to break up the oil. And you know, when the dispersant mixes with the oil, the overall toxicity reduces. So if you look at the toxicity of oil and you look at with and without dispersant, toxicity actually goes down with the dispersant. So that's the purpose of using it, and also to break up the oil and keep it off the water surface. Last question over here.
How many of the 60% local people do you have working here? How many of them are inmates? And once they picked up the car, where does the stuff go? Where is it sent to?
It's a good question. So they're picking it up and they're putting it in bags. We've worked with the EPA. We have permitted sites that we take this to. So there's landfills that are permitted by the state that we're working with, and we're putting it there.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you again, folks. Thanks.
I don't think she got her question answered over here.
I was asking about the burns because I know that individual's case has been brought before EPA. And has been brought before you guys. Are these chemical dispersants causing burns? Can they cause burns?
You know, I'm not familiar of any cases where the dispersant has caused any burns. Again, you know, it's approved by the EPA. You know, any of our folks that are out there, safety is our top priority. As they work with around any of the on the cleanup efforts, you know, we're continually monitoring. We have over 100 industrial hygienists involved in this cleanup, and so they're playing a big role in making sure that everything is safe.
All right, thanks again, everybody.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Thanks.
Y'all have any questions for the mayor? We'd love to take questions.